Good morning, Los Angeles. Actually, it's the afternoon. I don't know why I said good morning.
It's a nice kickoff.
It's very nice. It starts your day, and that's what the Ask Brien show should do. Start the day.
Yeah, with fuel. With fuel.
Yeah, I'm here with Tech Cat Girl. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here at KHTS with you. It's been many years since you and I kind of lived in the same region of the world.
Region? It's more like what? A couple
across
hundred
the
yards.
street.
if I was like Tom Brady, I probably could throw a football that far. But
That's right.
With me, I probably could throw it about 5 feet.
Well, you were my brother's buddy.
Brother and Tommy Mann and
oh my God, all
Jeff
those
Rubin,
people.
all the people.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy when you think about like where are all the people that you grew up with.
They're all successful. That's what I see.
Oh, hopefully none of them are in jail. I don't know. I don't know if there was a
something?
misdemeanor thing going on with all the people that we grew up with.
I don't know misdemeanor. Did he live like on 5 Edgemere Drive?
Oh man, we're going on the soft jokes right now.
Yeah, let's go on a little bit. So let's get the audience a little bit introduced. You were on one of our episodes earlier.
Yes.
So Tech Cat Girl. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
What are you currently doing?
Well, I am a consultant in the marketing and technology space. I have a consultancy called StoryTech, and that's story-tech.com. And basically, I work with brands and tech companies to help them work together. And a lot of it manifests at big events where I put together panels, I do tours, I do interviews. It's a lot of creating engagement around people's brands, around what their technology is, around how they can work together.
Now, Tech Cat Girl, is that a brand?
Yeah, I think Tech Cat Girl is a brand too. So I have my speaking persona, I have a podcast, and I get asked to speak a lot at events.
That sounds a little schizophrenic.
It's all the way you look at it, really. It's like throw the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks, which is a metaphor for business.
Well, it is a metaphor for business, and you know what? That's what you have to do. Test, and then what do you do after that? You test.
You cry. That's what the Tech Cat Girl does.
Not if you're looking at Ask Brien, because we're helping you out.
That's right. And I think that's a great point, because part of consulting, I think, is looking at what the market will bear and then going back and refining that. And so what I have found is it's good to have a persona for speaking and moderating and hosting and doing that part of my business. But then there's an actual day-to-day, consulting type of work that I do. So it
sounds like macro and micro.
Yeah, you could say that. Or you could say that really I'm just hacking away at all of it at once, right? Hacking away. I don't sleep, ever.
Well, that's a good trait. You know why? You can get a lot more done if you're not sleeping.
That's right. Well, and I do come up with my best ideas in the middle of the night.
That's very curious and scary now, because I do the same.
Do you really?
I'll just wake up in the middle of the night and go, that's good, write it down. Then I'll look up in the morning like Jerry Seinfeld and go, remember that episode? He looks at it and goes, I don't know what he wrote.
Right, that's right.
Sheets tucked in or tucked out?
Let's not get that personal here.
Well, I think, in business, you're always trying to reinvent. And so I'm continuously evolving all of these different things I'm doing.
Well, that's great. And by the way, we're on KHTS. That's 1220 on your dial. And KHTS basically has its own app. So if you want to download the app and listen to us live, you can. We're also on Facebook Live, so you should understand that. We have two amazing guests today.
Very exciting.
Other than yourself. We have Cassie Parks. Cassie Parks wrote a book, 10K Manifesto, 10,000, K standing for 1,000. We also have our recurring guest, Jay Berkowitz, will be on at the end of our show. Jay wrote the book, 10 Golden Rules, which is a bestseller on Amazon, as well as has his own website, and he does marketing with other firms as well. So we're going to
It's an author's day.
It is an author's day, and you know what? My uncle was an author.
Was he really? What did he write?
Nothing famous, but he was famous in my eyes.
That's right. Well, that's good. Well, and these authors are business authors who have written books that have been at the top of the Amazon list.
That's correct, and not only that, but they have gone beyond just the book. So the book is just phase one. You write the book, then you actually brand it out, and that's what you're involved in.
And that's a great point too. That's what many of my colleagues in the space are doing. And if I wanted to purely pursue a speaking career, many folks have told me that I need to write a book. And I have a couple of ideas around a book, but I'd love to ask our guests, like, how did they hunker down and really get their message out and build that brand around these great ideas?
What would you write a book on?
Well, part of it is looking at innovation because I've been interviewing people for the last like 4 or 5 years, like leaders in technology and entertainment. And so I've started to have a perspective on how you get to be successful in this business and what disruption and innovation is really about. So the book would be probably, anecdotal, capturing a lot of these interviews and sort of summarizing the insights from speaking to all these leaders.
Well, I have a couple of tips, but right now on the phone with us, we have Cassie Parks. Cassie, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
And do you like to be called Cassie, Cassie Parks, Miss Parks? What do you like?
Just Cassie is awesome.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so excited to meet you by air. Just hearing about your book and your story and that you've retired at such a young age, which is just crazy. As I got out of bed today and had to go sit in my jacuzzi because I was so sore from the hardness of life. And there you are, somewhat years younger than me, and you've retired already. So I do slightly hate you, but I'm also open to hearing how you did it.
I love that.
I mean, it's the love-hate. You know what I mean, Peter?
Now we've got a Freud analysis going on here, but
yeah, right. I love it. I love everything. I'm excited to talk to you guys because there's books, my favorite topic. I heard, just before you, said hello. So I'm super excited to be with you guys and share really what I did to make that happen.
So let me ask you a question. What is the book 10K Manifesto? What is this book about?
Manifest 10,000 really is about using the law of attraction and creating a money mindset that supports success to attract $10,000 in 90 days.
Wow.
Well, okay.
I've already spent the 10,000, by the way, just so you know, in my head.
that was before the first day.
Right. That's awesome. Did you? That's step one, is to get really clear about what are you using that 10,000 for. So I'm super excited that you did that.
Well, it's so funny. It's mostly for like clothing and things that I don't really need. But but I love this idea because I've heard of the law of attraction from friends of mine that are spiritual.
I thought that was about dating.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Mostly it has been about dating, about, a lot of my women friends who have just not had a lot of good luck in finding the right guy. And so a lot of it has been talking about that metaphysical piece. So I love the idea that you're applying that to business.
So
yes.
Can you be a little bit more specific? So you gave us a broad overview, but be a little bit more specific when you say the law of attraction, and how does it apply in life? So can you give us maybe 1 or 2 examples from the book?
Absolutely. So, I do law of attraction, like attracts like is my, basic, at its most basic. And so what that translates to, I believe, is who we're being is what we attract. A couple examples is just, when you're, want some money examples, just overall life examples, or?
Whatever you feel more comfortable with.
Awesome. It's just when you're you're in that space of being a person who has money instead of who doesn't have money. And oftentimes people put that in, it's like, well, millionaire or not millionaire, have this much or have that much. If you want more, it's putting yourself in that space of being that person who has more. And your thoughts and your beliefs are different in that moment. And so when you can step into that, the story that popped into my head to share with you is there's a guy taking my course, and he was walking down the streets of Chicago, and somebody literally just walked up and handed him a $100 bill out of the blue. Can
you tell me where that is so I can go get my 100?
I mean, that is part of what I teach, is that I can't tell you how to replicate his situation, but I can, because the money never comes from where you think it's going to come from. I ask people questions who are successful in my course, Manifest 10K, which Manifest 10,000 is based on what I learned from teaching people and increasing their success in that course. I interviewed people who were super successful, so manifested over $5,000 to the 25 plus range. And I said, did the money come the way you expected it to? And 100% of the answers were no. They thought maybe somebody would walk up and hand them a check, or they thought that they would get a promotion or something, but it did not come the way that they thought it did. It was completely different and something they couldn't have foreseen. And that's one of the biggest things is letting go of the how, trying to control, trying to make it happen, and really being open to seeing what's possible and what's going to show up for you.
Now, Cassie, to me, you seem very wise beyond your years, especially with understanding how you need to sort of let the universe sort of happen. Which is a struggle for many people, to stop pushing so hard and just kind of let things happen. So how did you get here? Have you done a lot of spiritual work, a lot of business work? Like how did you get so, focused? Which again, I kind of hate you for, but at the same time, respect you a lot at the same time.
I love your honesty. I love it.
It's from our neighborhood.
I love it. I've been studying myself. I did a lot of self-development work. I did a lot of work on myself, like a lot of self-sessions for different things that I studied. And I've always been into how our mind works and how can it work better. And for me, I did it wrong for a lot of the time. I did that forced. I thought I was, using the law of attraction. I thought I was just, letting things happen. And I realized I wasn't. And when I had that moment, what really happened is, I was trying to build my business on the side because that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be in my corporate job. It wasn't bad like most people, I had fun there, but it wasn't who I was. It wasn't what I was meant to do in the world. And so I was trying to build my business on the side, trying. And really that forcing, that not letting go. And one day, I just stopped and I said, what do you really want? And my answer was I went back to an answer that I had wanted when I turned 19, and I figured out this was possible. I wanted to be financially independent. I wanted the choice to get up and go to work or not in the morning, and it wasn't connected to being a millionaire.
And wait, this came to you at 19 when I was trying to figure out, how am I going to get to the Gap? I mean, who are you?
Right?
Very focused at a young age.
Very focused at a young age, right? It's impressive.
We're still trying to learn that focus.
I know. I know. I mean, sometimes I forget to eat breakfast because nobody told me to.
Attention deficit disorder.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
so impressive.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I had that intention, but I let it go, and I had the same thing, right? I wasn't focused on it. I was trying to do all these other things that I thought would get me there instead of really coming back to that. So it was a long time. It was probably till I was about 30, which is 11 years, that I returned to that. So, yeah, I had it together, but I didn't follow up on it real well.
And in terms of writing the book, because again, as I was mentioning to Ask Brien, I have a lot of colleagues in business who are building their own brands and who are specialists in particular topics, and they're all on the precipice of knowing that a book would really help propel them, but they are having focus issues, again, to what you're addressing. So how did you, were there any special techniques that you used to hunker down and write the book, or is it actually what the book is about that helped you write the book?
Or was it that maybe she just got lucky and all of a sudden, just like she said about everything else, she just sat down, wrote the book, and the money just came?
Wow. Ask Brien's deep. He's deep.
I made the decision, and I will say I have a lot of author friends. I published originally through the author incubator, and so what I love about their process is they help with that focus.
Author incubator, is that something people can look up? That's
it is.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
theauthorincubator.com.
Great.
And what I loved about that process is she taught me the most important book writing lesson, and that is to write a love letter to your ideal reader. Imagine the one person that you want to change their life, because when you speak to them, you can change lots of lives. But you really want to get clear on that. And that, for me, helps the focus, because everything that I do comes from wanting to show people that change is possible. So when I was writing to Erica, who if we want to talk about later showed up in one of my courses and had amazing results, my ideal reader, I just named her Erica. That totally came out of the blue. But I wrote the book to her specifically. And so that helps with the focus because it brings you back to what does she need to hear. And what she needs to hear, lots of people need to hear, but when you write to everybody, nobody can hear you.
Okay, we're on KHTS 1220, and we're listening to Cassie Parks. And so I didn't want to interrupt you, but I did want to let you know that KHTS has an app, and you can download the app and listen to us live. We're also on Facebook Live, and KHTS has won the Community Service Award as being the best community service radio station in California, and we're just notifying you of that. So, so who is Erica?
Erica was just a name I picked out, and she
to use as a focusing tool to get your book done. I love that. What a great idea, because again, in business, it can be so overwhelming when you're either writing a business plan or tackling a new area of your business, or even something as simple as just coming up with like what you're going to call your business or adding new products, whatever it is, that ability to commit and focus. So I love that you wrote a letter to Erica.
Anytime you have a business issue, it's something that you have not dealt with. You have to figure out what to do. Okay, and there are places to go on. Obviously, Ask Brien is one spot. I'm not trying to promote it right now, but Ask Brien, Wikipedia, there are places where you can go. There are friends you can go to, but you know what? At the end of the day, you need to be able to come up with it yourself at the end of the day, or have somebody that helps you. But it's not going to come out of thin air, and so having this focus is very, very important to create something. And I really do believe that when you have an opportunity to focus and concentrate, you're more likely to get to where you need to go, and that's the whole goal. If you focus on a consistent basis, no matter what you do, I think over time you will succeed. Every day, every moment, you just get a little bit closer to your goal.
That's beautiful. And Cassie, where can we get the book? It's on Amazon, correct?
It's on Amazon. You can get it on Target.com, Barnes & Noble, pretty much like anywhere you can buy a book, you can get it. Yes.
And can we get it off your website?
As well.
Can we just get it because we're talking nice to you? I'm going to manifest your book to appear at my house in Sherman Oaks, California. I almost gave the address, but
I don't think we want everybody to know your address. There is safety concerns.
That's right. Well, you know what?
We live in a different world.
I know, it's true. I did leave lemons in a bucket outside of my house, Casey, because I wanted to manifest free lemons for my neighborhood.
I thought you were trying to create a lemonade stand.
That would have been a smarter business choice, but I'm just trying to get rid of the lemons that fall onto my ground, into the grass every day. And it just bothers me to see a lemon-covered lawn.
So are the used car lots. They're trying to get rid of their lemons.
Yeah, they're not Myers lemons either. They're like valley lemons. They get really hot and sticky in the summer. But I'm going to manifest. I think I'm going to manifest a lemonade stand.
Well, I think you should.
There you go.
You can if you focus on it. You'll be the queen of lemonade stands throughout California, United States.
I want to be the president of lemonade stands.
Okay. And I don't want to get too political there.
Right, and rewrite the Constitution.
Are you going to start tweeting about that too?
Yeah.
So
sad.
Well, we got to wrap up a little bit here. We're just going to take a commercial break. We're going to be right back with our guest, Cassie Parks. Cassie Parks, the writer and author of 10K Manifesto, or I call it 10,000 Manifesto.
Making things happen.
That's right. She's a mover
happen.
and a shaker. And I think I have to ask if this is her first time to Los Angeles, but she'll be telling us that when we come back from our break.